Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to another installment of Make the Switch, the series where I go through the various multi-platform games that come out on the platform and report back to see if these games are actually worth checking out on the Switch. So the game we're taking a look at today is actually a trilogy of titles, all from the same franchise, released on the same day, and I gotta say this, just straight off the bat, this is gonna go down as one of the most nostalgic episodes of Make the Switch because the franchise we're talking about today makes me feel giddy as fuck because it's a series that I actually built my channel talking about close to 10 years ago. And I'm gonna let the game speak for itself. All the old school subscribers in the room already know what I'm talking about. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking a look at Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Trilogy for Nintendo Switch. You heard that right. The first 3 Storm games are now portable. Now we get into the topic of the portability aspect of the Switch and whether or not it really does make one game more relevant than it is on another platform. But I gotta say, man, this seriously is the gift that keeps on giving. We talk about portability day in and day out and how it's so freaking awesome. But when you get games like this, it really just makes you happy to be a Switch owner. Granted, they are old-ass games, but it's the fact that I can play these old-ass games that used to be on a console in the palm of my hands and they look just as good. Bruh, technology is a beautiful freaking thing. So let's get into the specifics of Naruto Storm Trilogy on Nintendo Switch, because I know a lot of people are curious about this re-release of the games. You're getting the first 3 Storm titles. So that's Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 2, and Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3 Full Burst Edition. All 3 of these games in one set. Now, I do have to warn some people who are interested in checking this game out. If you are looking for a physical release of the game, as of this recording right now, it is exclusive to Japan. So if you're purchasing this game outside of Japan, if you live in the States, in Europe, or wherever you live, you will have to settle with the Nintendo eShop version. And I know some people do not like that because they like growing their Switch physical collection, but I don't know, man. Maybe somewhere down the road, Bomco will decide to release a physical version of this depending on the sales, because we see it a lot when it comes to studios. They release their games digital only and then they see the sales and they come out with a physical version not even 2 months later. Rocket League comes to mind for that sort of thing. So if you're interested in checking out the games but you don't want it digitally, hold tight for a couple of months. Maybe Bomco will do something like that. I'm not gonna sit here and say they will, but hey, who knows? Everything's up in the air when it comes to this Switch hype, you know what I'm saying? So you're getting 3 Storm games for retail price of it's funny I say retail price, it's not even available retail. You're getting 3 Storm games for $40, which is about the price you would pay across other platforms for the most part. If you do want to get them individually, they are available for $19.99 each, but I look at it like this. If you're even purchasing 2 out of the 3 games in the set, let's say you wanted to go with Storm 1 and Storm 3, you're essentially going to be spending the same amount of money. I don't know why Bomco did that. It makes no sense to me. Maybe they wanted to get people to buy the bundle set to say, hey, look, it's more value. But as it stands, getting 3 games for $40, portable, and they perform damn well is a pretty good deal to me. So let's talk about the performance of these games, because this is something that everyone's been wondering about. You know, these were high profile games last generation. You know, PS3 and 360, they were always included in the list of, you know, best looking titles, not necessarily for its realistic portrayal, but when it comes to creating a one-to-one like story, characters in relation to like the anime and the manga, the Storm games were really unparalleled. It wasn't until we got something like Dragon Ball FighterZ where you can really see that, wow, this is the anime come to life. The Storm series held that crown for a very long time, and I gotta say, playing through these games on the Switch, they look just as good, man. And this is the funny thing, because I was kind of worried about the performance. So when we got the initial reports, it was gonna be 900p docked and 540p portable, which, if you could surmise, 540p is not 720p HD. It's not even just standard stuff. So when you hear that resolution and you couple that with the games that have come out, such as Doom and Xenoframe Chronicles 2, where the performance is just all over the freaking place, I was kind of worried. But here's the thing, guys. As strange as this may sound, 540p has never looked better on a freaking portable, man. The only times I would ever notice to see that this is a lower resolution is when you're looking at the in-game models throughout the open world in particular cutscenes. And this is the funny thing, they're not even the graphically intensive cutscenes, the things that really make your jaw drop. No, it's in those situations where you're just running around the open world where you can see some lines on the characters and it doesn't look full HD. But other than that, when I'm going through the various boss battles, which we'll get to in a second, just doing free battle, just looking at all the cutscenes throughout the story, the game is beautiful. And I've been playing this exclusively in portable mode. Going through Storm 1, Storm 2, and Storm 3, I really don't see any type of crazy dynamic reconstructor resolution, and I don't even see any performance issues whatsoever, which is something that I'm very surprised at, because when you hear these games are coming to the Switch, you think, okay, if it's gonna be at a really bad resolution portably, the performance is probably gonna suffer. Nah, man, I was going through all the intensive boss fights in Storm 2, and I even messed around with some free battles in Storm 3, and I haven't seen any crazy performance issues to report back on. Granted, it might change when I'm going through the story mode in Storm 3, because I have heard from some people who played the game on PS3 and 360 that that's where the performance tended to chug. So your mileage may vary as far as that is concerned. I can only report back from playing through free battles on all 3 games and the story mode for Storm 2. Let's just talk about the story mode, for example, man. Just going through all these boss battles in Storm 2, man, yo, it's making me feel some type of way, because these scenes, man, I'll always say this, they are leaps and bounds better than the anime adaptation of the manga. Like, what you're seeing in these games is just so freaking over the top, but it works for this, man, and I love it, man. There were so many times on the PS3 where I was playing through Storm 2's boss battles just cause, man. Yeah, they are QTEs at the end of the day, but they're damn quality QTE segments, man. Oh god, I just had to mention that. I mean, it has no real bearing whatsoever on your enjoyment of this, because as you can see, this isn't a video talking about the games themselves. It's more about how they were able to translate things over. Speaking of things that have really improved, I don't know if this is because it's digital, but I noticed the load times in Storm 2 in particular are basically non-existent, and if they are there, they're 1 to 2 seconds max. Contrast that to the PS3 where it was very slow, even if you had the game installed on the hard drive. They took a long ass freaking time, and it was definitely noticeable when you were doing free battle. I could pop up a free battle in this set, and it would only take, what, 2 to 3 seconds tops. So I gotta give them some applause for that, because in terms of porting the games over, it's just freaking phenomenal, man. I'm not really noticing any issues whatsoever, and I'm not taking out of the experience like I would playing something like Xeno Frame Rate Chronicles 2, where I love the game to death, but that performance, man, is just, it's like, what are we doing with ourselves, you know what I'm saying? In terms of things that really didn't translate over too well on this Storm Trilogy set, it's gotta be pointed out there, it does not include Storm 4, which we'll touch on later, but it does not even include things that came standard with the other Storm games. Case in point, a friend invite system for Storm 2 and Storm 3 online. Bamco, what the fuck? This is like, what, the 3rd time you're re-releasing these games, and the Switch version doesn't have an invite system? Now, here's the thing, I don't know what they had to do to get these games to run on Switch. I don't know how the online infrastructure or lack thereof on Nintendo Switch will play into their porting process, but the fact that I cannot squad up with any of my friends' private matches is a big bummer. They might release a patch later down the road to address these issues, but seriously, how do you launch an online game without a freaking friend invite system? Like, we've seen third-party developers such as Psyonix and Panic Button for Rocket League. They had an invite system where you can invite your friends. Again, I don't know if this is because it's on the Switch and it doesn't really have a great online infrastructure, which again goes back to Nintendo and their shenanigans. We're not gonna get into that right now. But for these games that I would love to play with my friends, I can't invite them. I just have to open up a room and hope to God and pray that they get in before somebody else. Couple that with the fact that the online is, well, just another anime bombco game, which means that there is gonna be some input lag, and it's just not a good experience whatsoever. Granted, I'm playing the game wirelessly, and I know some people have reported back a better performance when you hardwire your Switch, but look what you have to do to hardwire your Switch. You have to go and buy an adapter to plug it in to get a better performance out of this. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever. Like, when I'm playing my PS4 versions of games that I have on Switch, the online is better, and that is wirelessly. So what's going on with the Switch online on this game? I just, bruh, like you can't play a fighting game like this at all, which makes no sense because games like Mario Kart and Splatoon 2 work well with the Switch Wi-Fi. So Bamco, step your game up, get better netcode. I don't care what you got to do, because if you want to make these games have longevity, you got to fix the online. But again, some people who've been playing this series longer than me will report this as, well, par for the course, because this is Bombco we're talking about. But still, it pisses me off because so many other things in this set are just so good. In terms of some other things, which I can't really say too much on, considering I don't have all the details, apparently it does not come with all the DLC that was included with the past versions of the games, which kind of doesn't make any sense to me, considering if this is a re-release which has a complete version of the games like Storm 3 Full Burst, wouldn't you expect it to have all the DLC? Some people were reporting back that they don't have the Goku costume. Some people said Lars might not be in Storm 2 in this version, which to be honest I think might come down to licensing issues when it comes to those particular characters. But again, I don't know 100% because I haven't delved too much into the games to unlock said things. You guys can comment down below some of the things that they didn't include in this set that were with the past games. But other than that, man, as it stands, Storm Trilogy on the Switch is freaking awesome. Yeah, it doesn't come with the fourth game, which kind of sucks, but I think that bringing the past 3 games was a much easier porting job for Bamco or whoever they outsourced this to bring the games to Switch, as opposed to Storm 4, which is a more current game. But man, after going through Storm 3, which is admittedly the only game in the set that I really haven't played too much of, I'm playing through that and I'm loving the freaking combat. And if Storm 4 is a step above that, man, I will have so much freaking fun. Which again, it goes back to why isn't Storm 4 on Switch, man? Even if they have to downgrade it so it can look and perform as Storm 3 Full Burst, I'd be all for that, man, because I'm having a freaking blast with Storm 3 Full Burst on the Switch and I would love to play Storm 4. Yes, I know I have a PlayStation 4 and I could easily buy this game for $5 at Best Buy. But man, I keep bringing this up. The only reason I'm ever going to touch these games is if it's on the Switch, because I can play it wherever I freaking want and put time in it. As opposed to Storm 4 on the PS4, where I got shit like Horizon and Yakuza 6 and now God of War. It's just like, bro, who's going to be playing a Naruto game? Yeah, that's right. Full insult right there. Who's going to be playing a Naruto game over something like Dad of War? Like seriously, I just don't understand it, man. So Bamco, bring over Storm 4 to the Switch. I don't care if you gotta, do what you gotta do. Get the game on it, make it run well, and I will be there day one to support it at a reasonable price. Speaking of price, man, just looking at the games on the eShop, I think the fact that it was priced pretty competitively is a sign that it is going to succeed, because looking at the eShop, it's like ranked what? 3, 4, it goes back and forth with a couple of games, which is really awesome because that's a sign to Bamco that they can bring over more games to the platform. So who knows, further down the road, they might port some of the older Tales titles. We know they're working on a Tales game, whether it's a new one or they're bringing over something like Berseria. You know, I'm all for that day one. Just don't touch Zestiria. Just leave Zestiria where it is. There's a reason why we don't talk about it anymore until this video. But yes. Just whatever you gotta do. Port over all the games, man. Port over the Dragon Ball Z Budokai games, man. Port over Fighters. Port over everything you gotta do. But if you are bringing back the Budokai games, you better fix that damn soundtrack. Like, I don't care if it's copyrighted, man. Nah. That soundtrack was legendary for a reason. But yeah, if you're buying these games on the eShop, man, I'm just happy to see that it's doing very well, especially when you have it like side-by-side games like Donkey Kong Tropical Damage Control. Like that game is $60 and there's really not that many differences, whereas you have 3 games here in a similar boat and it's only $40. Like, that's just something I had to bring up, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, you guys, from me to you for now, my name is MGS signing out, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace.